watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking, and I can't help
Hello
but
and welcome
smile.
to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Millie, and on this channel I talk about yarn. I talk about knitting and crochet. I share my works in progress, my finished objects, yarn hauls, and I have a few knitting tutorials. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. And if you're new here or you're a new subscriber, thank you for being here and welcome. Today, I want to share with you some finished objects and some whips that I have on my crochet hook and on my needles. And I am going to start with all the things that I have finished recently. And I'm gonna start with all a mix of knitting and crochet because that's what I've been working on. And then I'm gonna go to the whips. And the first thing that I wanna share with you is this finished heart. And this is a crocheted heart that I saw the tutorial on YouTube and I decided to give it a try. And I think this is the first heart I have crocheted in a long time. I might have crocheted some baby hats a long time ago, but this one looked so easy, so I decided to give it a try. And it's crocheted from side to side and then it's joined. So it's done as a flat panel, and then once you're done, you join, and this is what you get. But I think I wasn't really concentrating very well when I was working on one of the edges, and it's a little bit crooked. I think I added a stitch here, but I'm okay with it because I'm gonna wear this folded, so it's not gonna show. I'm still deciding if I'm going to go ahead and add a pom-pom. I might. It depends on, how I feel. And for this hat, I was using a bulky weight number 5. And this is all I have left out of what I was making with this hat with. But this is the yarn that I used. So this is soft, Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek, and it's from Hobby Lobby. And it is a number 5, 100% acrylic, 211 yards. And if you're going to knit with it, the recommended knitting needle size is a US 10 or 6 millimeters. And for the crochet hook, it's a 6.5. So I used a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. And out of 211 yards, I have this much left. So I'm not sure how much I used because I didn't weigh, but at least I have this much left, and I'm just gonna throw this into my my stash, and I'm planning to make a scrappy blanket sometime in the future, and so that's where it's gonna go. So that's my first finished object. And my second finished object is another hat, and this one is a knitted hat, and it's just 1 by 1 rib. So I cast on 82 stitches here and knitted it in the round, and I just did 1 by 1 ribbing, and that was because I wanted it to be stretchy so that it can fit different sizes. So I am thinking I might keep it, or I might give it to one of my kids, probably my daughter. But it can fit a teen and it can also fit an adult because it's really stretchy. And this is a really good one. It was one of those enjoyable projects for me because I was using this Yarn Bee authentic hand dyed yarn, and it's 100% wool. So it's 100% superwash merino wool, and there was 110 yards in the skein. It came in a skein, and if you're knitting with it, it's a 6 millimeter knitting needle or US 10. And for the crochet, it was it's recommended that you use a 6.5 millimeter USK 10.5 UK size 3. So this is one from my stash that I bought a long time ago, and I've been meaning to use it, and I was finally able to use it. And out of all the yarn that I made it. I almost had to play yarn chicken, but that's all that's left. These little pieces. So it turned out really well, and I like how fluffy and cozy and stretchy it is. It's really, really soft. So that is my second finished object. And my third finished object that I wanted to share with you is this little pullover that I made for my grandson. And it's ready to be washed so that I can stretch it out and, you know, make it look pretty. So that is what I made for my grandson. And this is I used a free pattern from Revelry, and it's the flax pullover by Teen Can Knit, and that's what it looks like. It's a free pattern on Revelry, and it's designed to help beginners learn how to knit pullovers, and it comes in a very big range of sizes, a wide range of sizes. So it's from 0 to 6 months all the way to 6 extra large. And I have used this pattern multiple times for different sizes. As a matter of fact, I made my grandson a bunch of these when he was little, but he has outgrown everything, so I decided to make him one. And I knitted, let me double check, I knitted a 4 to 6 years, and I'm planning on making another one for him because it works up really, really fast. And I used Hobby Lobby I Love This yarn, and this is a 4-weight, 252 yards, 142 grams, and it's 100% acrylic. I typically make him 100% acrylic because I don't want, I want it to be a garment that can be just washed easily, so it can be thrown in the washer and dryer without having any issues. And this color is called Red Tweed. And the last time I made him one of these, I made one in this color, and he loves it a lot. So I decided to make him another red one. And I don't know if I have that yarn. I didn't bring the leftover, but I used 2 balls of the yarn, and I only had very little left. So, and I used, even though the needle size recommended here is an 8, I used a 7. I don't remember why. I think probably because I couldn't find my US 8, plus sometimes I knit loose, and so it worked out perfectly. And so I used a size 7 for the sweater instead of an 8, which is the recommended needle size if you're going to knit using this yarn. But it worked out perfectly. So I changed a few things. So for the original pattern down here in the middle, I don't think it has something in the middle. It's actually plain in the middle. And then on the sleeves, there's a garter panel here, over here, but I decided to do cables instead, and also add these 2 cables at the front and on the side instead of the garter tabs. But it's a very good pattern to work from because you can really customize. You can also even put a stitch pattern all over the pullover, and it works up really, really fast. So that is my other finished object, which I love, and I'm happy with it. And the next finished object that I wanted to share with you is a mix of crochet and knitting. So this year I decided to experiment and do and make some ornaments for my tree. And I just used a basic red, green, and white. And I have a mix of crochet and knitting. So initially I thought that I was gonna knit the ornaments, and I knitted this first one, but I didn't like the way it turned out. Plus, I typically crochet faster than I knit, and so it took a longer time than I expected, or it took more time than I wanted. So I knitted this first one. The only problem I have with ornaments is I can't really stuff them evenly to where it's like a perfect round ornament. But I think once I hang it on the tree, it should be fine. And so that is the first one that I did, which is knitted. And then I did a crochet one, and I really love cardigan design for Christmas. And so that's what I was trying to mimic. So I crocheted that one. And then I decided to try all the colors, but this took more time because I had to change the yarn and trim. Actually, I had the tails on the inside. And then I have this plain white, which might not really work that well for my tree because my tree is white. But I left a tail here, which I intend to weave in some red beads just to give it some color. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then I was experimenting with different sizes, and so I made this big one in green. And then I went to Hobby Lobby, and I was browsing around, and I saw this area where they had this, this is called Velvety Smooth Sparkle. So they had this yarn, and I don't know where the red one is, but they had this kind of tealish green. I think that's what you would call it. Yeah, it's actually teal green. They didn't have this Christmas green. They had, this was the closest they had to what I was looking for, or to what attracted me to the yarn. And so I got this. So I got this teal, and I got another one in red. And I was thinking that it was gonna make really, really beautiful ornaments because of all the sparkle that is in it. And I came home and I crocheted this ornament, but I'm gonna tell you that this yarn never works for me. So this is Velvety Smooth Sparkle, and it's 94% polyester and 6% metallic. It's a 4-weight, and for knitting, it's recommended that you use a 5.5 millimeter knitting needle. And for crochet, it's recommended that you use a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. And so I was using the 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, but I could never get the tension correct. So it feels like once you crochet with it, it sits there, you cannot adjust anything. And so I kind of fight my way through, and I was able to finish this ornament. But also I think that because it doesn't have to, it's not gonna be like something you're spreading out for people to see, it should be okay. So I was able to get away with it, but I did not enjoy using this yarn. But since I don't know what else I can do with it, I think I'm gonna make like another giant ornament with it. So I'll make it bigger than this one, so that I can use up the yarn. And then I have the red one, and I'm gonna do the same. But if you have any tricks on how to use this yarn without getting frustrated, let me know. But so far, I haven't had any luck with any velvety type yarns. So either the tension is wrong, or sometimes, like I finished one a cardigan for my grandbaby, and when I washed it, I had some loose stitches. I don't know what happened. So if you have any tricks about using this yarn, please drop them in the comments and let me know how it works out for you. But this is my second pile of finished objects, which are gonna go to my tree. And I love these experiments so much. I'm gonna make some more. And just, I'm about to get my tree out. I usually put up my tree the day after Thanksgiving, but I might do it early this time. So let me know what you think about my experiment. Oops. Let's talk about the whips that I have on my needles and my crochet. And I'm gonna start with this pair of socks because I am ready to finish this. I've had it on my needles for too long. So this is the first sock that's already finished, which I feel good about. And then on the second sock, I have, I'm done with the heel. This is usually the most involving part of a sock because there are so many things to do here. But now I'm over here where I can do mindless knitting. And so I am happy with where I am. And I think that if I focus on this, I can knock it out within a very short time, because this is just mindless knitting over here. And I am using a sock yarn from my stash, and this is what I'm using. So I had 3 of these from way back when Hobby Lobby was discontinuing this yarn and they had it on sale. And so this is Peyton's Croy socks. It's a 50-gram ball and it has 166 yards. It's 75% wool, 25% nylon. So that's a lot of nylon. And this one is called Blue Striped Rag. That's the name. And it's a 1, so it's a sock weight. And then it's recommended that you use a 2.25 millimeter needle or 3.25 millimeter crochet hook. But I think I'm using a 0 because I could not find, I just grabbed the needles that were available and I ended up grabbing a 0. I think this is either a 0 or a 1 because it's tight. But that's okay. It's for socks, so it should be fine. So for the first sock, this is all I had left. And then for this sock, I have this much left. So I'll end up having 2 of these. And I think I'm going to make another sock, but combine the yarn with something. But I also have this one left over, so I think it should be enough for another pair of socks. But also for the heels, the calf, so for the toes, the heel and the calf, I am using this Knit Picks straw. I don't remember the name of it, but I'm going to leave all the information about all the yarns that I'm going to mention in the description below. So if you're interested, you can look down below and see what yarn I'm using exactly. But I know that this is a Knit Picks straw yarn from my stash, but I don't remember the color name, because I had bought it to stripe with another speckled yarn, but it didn't work. So I've been using it to do the toes for my socks, and it's working out perfectly. And I'm thinking that maybe I'm just gonna stripe it all the way with the leftovers and make another pair of socks. And I have this one sock pattern that I use, which is the Stockmatations Toe Up Socks recipe, I think. And I've had it for years, and I just use that for my socks because I prefer knitting my socks toe up. So that is the first whip that I have and that I wanted to share with you today. And the second whip that I want to share with you today is a knitted pullover, or a pullover that I am knitting, but it's not going as fast as I would like. But it's also because I've allowed myself to be endlessly distracted by different things. So this is a second attempt for me, and this is the Love Note by Teen Can Knit, and it was published in 2019, and when it came out, I knitted a small size. And then I didn't like the fit of the small size. And then fast forward, I don't know how many years later, I frogged it. And now I am making an extra large. And this is how far I am with the progress. And I had hoped to have worked more on this, but I got distracted by all those other things that I simply had to make. So this one is being knitted with a mohair held with a fingering weight. And so this is the Farmer's Daughter. I'm going to leave all the information in the description. It's the Farmer's Daughter. I don't remember the exact name. I think I might have it here somewhere, but I can't find the name. But the yarn is the Farmer's Daughter, and this is what I have left out of the original skein when I was knitting it in 2019, and this is the leftover from that original pattern. So now that I'm making a large size, I'm hoping that there is enough here to compensate for the size difference. But also what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish the body, and then I'm gonna I'll knit up the body first, and then I'll add the project with the sleeves, so that if I am running out of the yarn, then I can make them short sleeves or 3/4, because there is no way I'm gonna find this yarn. It's been such a long time. This, I might be able to find something that is close to this, because this is Cascade, what is this? Cascade Pacific, I think that's what it's called. And I'm gonna leave that information. Well, actually the label is in here. So let me see. But I know that it's a Cascade yarn. So it's Cascade Heritage, and it's a 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. And it comes in a 100-gram skein, 437 yards. Recommended needle size are US 1 to 3 or 2.25 to 3.25 millimeters. So machine wash, cold, and all that good stuff about merino wool. So I probably might be able to find these, but not the same lot number. But I'm okay. I think I should have enough. So I'm using the frogged yarn first, and I have plenty over here, and so I have plenty. And once I finish up using this, then I'll go to these new unused cakes. And so that is what I have. And I was hoping that this was one of those projects that I'm gonna finish this year, but I'm having my doubts now because I have too many distractions. And this love note, when I knitted it way back in 2019, it was a very enjoyable and easy knit, and I'm enjoying it right now, but I need to pick it back up and finish so that I can enjoy it during the cold weather, which is slowly creeping in. So that is my second WIP that I wanted to share with you today. And the next project and the last project that I wanted to share with you today is this crochet blanket that I started yesterday. I was craving some color, and I was looking for some bright colors, and I went shopping in my yarn stash, and I found this yarn. And this is Twisted Tones. It's from Michael's Loops and Threads, and I've had it in my stash for a long time, and I bought it when it was on sale. And so I knew that I was gonna make a blanket with it, but it wasn't time yet. But yesterday I decided that I wanted some color, and so I decided to use it. And I have 7 of these, and I know for sure that I don't have enough for a blanket, because there's only 82 yards in this ball of yarn, or 75 meters, and it's a jumbo weight number 7. And for knitting, it's recommended to use a 9mm knitting needle, or US 13. And for the crochet hook, it's a 9mm or US MN-13. So I have 7 of these, but I know for sure that it's not gonna be enough for the size blanket that I'm trying to make. So I'm gonna have to go back to my stash and see if I can find a complementary color to go with it, because this yarn is out. It's discontinued, because I looked online, I went back to Michael's, and I could not find it. So I don't know what I'm gonna add to it, but I think I have some roving that is a 7, and I think that's what I'm gonna try to combine with. But it's also like a neutral color, and there's a little bit of white going through. So I'm just gonna mix it with it. So I'm gonna stripe it. So this is almost 2 balls of yarn. This is what I have left on the second one. So definitely you can tell that that's not gonna give you too much, it's not gonna be that long. So I'm gonna grab that roving, and then I'm going to put a stripe, and then you crochet with 2 more and then put another stripe, and hopefully that will make the yarn go further. And also, at least I'll have used up something that is in my stash, which was one of the goals that I had set for myself this year, is to use up yarn that's already in my stash. So, and it's giving this unique pattern, it's like checkered. I don't know, it just started working itself up this way, which is kind of interesting. And so I'll keep working on it, and hopefully next time I'll have a finished project to share with you. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here today. Leave a comment below and let me know what you're working on. And whatever you're working on, whether you're knitting or you're crocheting, I hope that you're having a wonderful time. And until next time, happy knitting and happy crocheting.